So, I want you to raise your hands, point to the sky, say get to the top. Alright, and that's what we specialize in. When we manage other people's ads, we get their ads to the top and we keep them there. Now, one thing I do want to mention as we're looking at this is on February 19th of this year, Google made another major policy change where they moved all these ads that were on the sidebar down to the bottom to keep up with mobile device layouts. So if your ads aren't at the top of this, your ads are way, way down at the bottom. So make sure you know where your ad placement is. Does anybody have any questions on that?
How do you get it to the top?
How do you get it to the top? You have to be relevant. You have to be willing to compete dollar-wise. And you have to have a good quality score, which is a metric that Google calculates based on keywords, what they search for, and a couple other factors. Yes.
So, back in the day, that's on our team now. If you used a word in your advertising, your advertising that didn't actually appear anywhere else, you used to get dinged for that. Is that still in the relevancy score? So let's say I run an ad about what were you just talking about, rehab, and I send it back to my site. And nowhere on my site do I actually talk about rehab.
Right.
Is that a challenge? Is that what the relevance score is?
That definitely goes into it. They will mark you lower because your website is not relevant to the keyword that's been searched for. Right? They'll give you a lower quality score. But they look at your entire website as a whole and put that all into their algorithm. Yes, maybe John can speak more about it.
Yeah, I was going to add to that to follow up on our second. That's where content marketing comes into this.
Yeah.
We talked about yesterday. That's why you have to have the relevant content on your website so that when they come over from the ads, they find it and Google finds it more importantly and ranks higher.
Yeah, John's an SEO expert. I generally don't care about SEO very much for most of my clients, for the investor clients that I have, because paid ads will always be SEO for most people. For REIAs, it does matter a whole lot because you want to generate a lot of organic traffic. Yes, sir.
One of the things too with SEO, we actually have the fortunate experience, a friend of Anish's that we've known for 20 years or more, went to college with the guy. He's one of the leading experts in SEO. This guy's incredible. One of the things too, just to give everybody a free tip, whether you have a website now or you're revamping a website, because I heard a couple of people yesterday talking about doing a new website. If your website is not SEO ready, if it's not SEO friendly, it doesn't matter how beautiful it is, it doesn't matter what it looks like or anything else, it's basically going to be useless to SEO. So as a tip, if you're going to have somebody, create that content, or John, I'm sure I know he knows this as well, your website itself has to be SEO friendly, so there's certain things behind the pages and things that have to be done, because that's, we actually designed a new website for our new REIA, and he's had a play in that to make sure that our second website is as SEO friendly as our first website. And the SEO and the AdWords that we're doing, everything that Brian's talking about, for us down in our market, we're number 1 in our market, number 5 globally for real estate management. So it really does work.
Yeah, SEO is extremely important for organizations and groups. I myself am not an SEO expert. I'm a pay-per-click ad expert, but we do have SEO experts on our team that we work with constantly. And certainly John and it sounds like Ryan are both very good at that. Yes, sir.
Okay, what does SEO stand for?
Who here does not know what SEO is? Raise your hands. Okay. SEO is search engine optimization. It's what you can do to your page to get it to show up higher in a Google search results page. So SEO generally takes time on the internet, longevity. It takes people clicking back to you as credible sources, showing that you're an authority on the internet. And it also takes relevancy to what people are searching for in order for your page to show up higher on that search. So it's a very good question. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah.
I know what a CEO was.
Gotcha. All right. Here's a reference to keep score by. Okay, let's talk about each of these a little bit. Page position. Go back to this slide. Actually, this is your page position. It's how high on the page your ad is showing. Okay, so you want that page position number to be as low as possible. 1 is the lowest. Competition rank is how many times your page is showing versus your competitors. How many times you actually get on the ad list and how high you are on the ad list. Click-through rate. This is the same thing as with the mail campaign. It's the level of response that you're getting. Yeah, and I have some study guides that they'll pass around for me and help you out with that. Again, this is the level of response that you're getting for your ad. So out of every 1,000 people, how many actually see it? What percent rate actually open or click on your ad? Conversion rate, this deals with your website. How many people will go through your website and convert into doing what you want them to do? So generally, with an investor page or a REIT page, you want them to contact you to get more information, right? You want them to go to a meeting. How well does your webpage convert them to doing that? Okay. And then close rate. How well do you turn them into a new member? How often? You know, with an investor, you send out offers, and perhaps 20% of them will be accepted. Okay, that's pretty typical. 1 out of 5. How much or how good are you at actually converting those guests into becoming new members? Right. Are there any questions about this? I know when I started out as an investor, I didn't know a whole lot about where I should be. I was kind of flying blind, and so having a reference really helped me out because what else are you measuring yourself to? Bless you. Yes.
How did you learn this?
I've been doing online ads specifically for 4 years now. I have a master's in double E, working as an engineer. I have 3 kids at home, and I didn't want to be at a job anymore. So I decided to do real estate investing. No, the question was, how did I get into this? So that's where my history came from. I just didn't want to work at 9 to 5 anymore. I wanted to do real estate investing to get financial freedom, right? And so Rich Dad brought me in, and I said, screw you guys, I'm going to go over here to CFRI, and then learn about this sort of thing. Try traditional methods of advertising. Didn't work out so well. It was a lot of work, especially with kids at home. So I did an online ad because I want the leads to come to me. I don't want to have to go out to them. So I've been doing this for 4 years. Any other questions about this? About anything else? Yes?
I know it's probably hard to answer, but
What would you recommend as a starting budget for this type of thing for Google Ads and Facebook Ads?
For Google Ads and Facebook Ads for REIA or
For REIA for generating new memberships.
It depends on the market.
Right.
I generally would recommend to everybody about $500 for an advertising budget per month. It really depends on how many members you want to get per month and what your conversion rates are, right? If perhaps you guys convert 50% of the guests that come to your meeting and become your members, then maybe 250 is a good budget for you because you're really good at converting them. Yes, sir.
well, I want to add to that answer. I mean,
The budget doesn't matter, because if you're able to bring in, if you know what your value of your member is, and you know that over the course of a year, like for us, it's about $550. The average person makes $550. Our membership's $200. If I can spend $200 on this entire part of the funnel, on average, it costs me $200 to bring somebody in. I should spend every damn $200 I've got every month to bring them in, because I'm going to make $300 per year.
Yeah. How much is your member worth to you, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So figure out whatever that number is, if you're willing to break even or potentially lose on the membership, then you're able to play the game.
Yeah, we too often take the other mindset, which is how much does it cost to get in, not looking at how much you're going to make on the long run, right? We're always teaching our investors to look at it the other way also. How much you're going to make on the deal in the long run. The holding cost doesn't matter as long as you're making money to the company. Chris? Okay.
But I was gonna say, because I just started doing the pay-per-click for my investor side, and you have to have the website that converts first, because if you're just driving them to a website that doesn't capture the lead, you're just wasting money.
Sure. Yeah, you have to have a good website focused on converting. And then you have to have leads that are attracting the right kind of people to it. And so it kind of goes hand in hand.
Outside of the pay-per-click, you get to the probably organic list of Google stuff.
Sure.
And personally, I tend to pass all the paid ones and go to the regular ones.
Okay.
And I was just looking myself up, I'm top on the regular ones.
Cool.
But
Yeah, that's very good.
other other stuff above
Let me ask you a question.
I search for Chicago real estate investors.
Are you a person who's motivated to find financial freedom right now? Are you a person who's motivated to find a REIA? Are you in the same mindset as a person who's going to click on an ad? In other keywords.
I mean, when I search for other stuff,
When you
I
say-
tend to pass the paid stuff and go to
Yeah.
the real
It
stuff.
depends on what level of motivation you are, you know?
Okay.
If I'm looking for something online and I'm extremely motivated to find, I don't know, like something at Home Depot, I'll click on their ad because the offer's right there. I don't have to go any further down. You know, if a person is deeply motivated to sell a house, for instance, they're not going to care whether it's a text ad or an organic result. They're going to click on the first thing that offers them the solution because they're motivated.
I absolutely used to be that way, and now if I'm looking for information, absolutely, I'm not gonna click on the paid ad for information, but if I want to buy something, I am actually clicking on the ads now because I figure they're motivated to sell to me, so I'm hoping there might be a discount, or there might be an incentive, or there might be something else from the ad. So yeah, if I'm looking for information, absolutely, I skip them all, but if I'm buying, I'm actually clicking on that.
Well, and when I was putting out, when I was first told to put out bandit signs, I was like, who's going to call these things? I don't call bandit signs. I got calls on bandit signs, right? Do any of you guys call bandit signs who aren't wholesalers? Just for the fun of it? Yeah. Oh, maybe. Okay.
Brian, the nice thing about that, even though Jane, in her experience, bypasses us, for people that bypass you, you're not paying for that anyway.
Right.
You're not paying if they click onto it, so there's no cost to you for the people that bypass you.
Yeah. More visibility.
Just,
Also, if you're big time, you're willing to put out a paid ad, right? You have that credibility there as well.
Maybe this isn't as important, well, at least in my market, there's not lots of views. In your market, I know there is.
Yeah.
But if the cost per click changes, it can get substantial. Sort of just as an aside, I don't really, like, if our ad looks good, I wouldn't be super excited about my REIA member clicking on my Google ad because it just costs me $10 for them to come in. Is that a real concern? The follow-up to that, if you're in an area that's really competitive and you know that, REIA across the streets, they've got a $1,500 a day budget, am I just gonna go in and click on their ads and sign up? Is there a special place in help? Is there a special place in help?
If you really don't like it.
Or is there a way of, I know
You
they
can
don't
avoid that. How do you avoid that?
how do you avoid that?
You have to have experience with your system, right? You have to know what people are clicking on. You're watching people as they come in, and you realize that people who aren't really like for looking for motivated sellers. People might come in and we buy houses. Let me click on that guy because they want to check you out or something. Well, they're not converting. You know what they searched for. You can tell where they came from. You can even see their IP address in some cases. Block them. You just build up your database of people who you blacklist essentially if you're coming into your website. And you start developing trends of, hey, these people are typing these sort of things into the search. I don't want them here. Eliminate that keyword, for instance.
I love Eric's first point about what does the budget really matter if you're going to spend $100 and you're going to attract that member that's going to be there forever. So I'm a big proponent about that, but yes, there is a special place to go for the other bees.
No, I'm too lazy, I would never do that, but there's a lot of motivated.
Isn't there a cap or a limit you can put on
How do you mean?
of how much is spent?
Oh yeah, there's a daily budget. Right. Yeah, you tell Google that you're willing to spend $20 a day. That's all they're going to have you spend. And they will not let you go over that. They won't have you spend any more than that. So if an ad costs, maybe a click costs $10. Well, if you have a $20 a day budget, you get 2 clicks. You're off the list. Somebody else moves to the top of that search page, to the top of the text ad results. So it's a constant cycle of people moving up to the top of the text ads. It's very fluid. It's a very liquid game. Yes.
So one of the things my financial partner has done here, it's always good to have an Indian on the team that knows numbers really well. He breaks it down every year, and we know how much we make on an average per our members. So how much does a member spend and that sort of thing. So that can help you guys budget a little bit about how much you want to spend for acquisition. If your members only spend $300, but it costs you $500 to get them, you're losing money. So that will help you kind of offset a little bit, so you can kind of determine how much you want to budget for your pay-per-clicks and that sort of thing.
True, right. And like we were talking about earlier, as soon as they come in the door, if they're a new guest, we charge them a guest fee. you start offsetting your costs as soon as they get in the door, right? Yes, sir.
But if someone's constantly clicking on it, just to spend their ad budget, when you contact Google, they won't charge you for that.
Actually, Google
They'll
keeps-
ban them.
Yeah, Google will ban them too. They'll actually block them from seeing your ad, and they actually list that click. If Google knows that they're just a clicker, Google will put them on the list, and you can actually see clicks that were not real clicks. There's a list of them in Google in the AdWords.
Even if they set up advertised just for that purpose. Even if they set up advertised to click through constantly on your ads.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Somewhat.
Oh, instead of fake IDs, they still have the same IP address.
No, even if they have different ones.
If they have, well, it's gonna have to track them every time in that case. Yeah, but again, that's where you watch for the trends. You know, where are these people clicking on that don't convert on my webpage? You know, is there a bunch of them? Are they doing the same thing? Kind of weird, you know?
They call it business click farm.
That's okay. I know. It's a different control fund.
Any other questions? Comments? Alright, so here's some campaigns we're running right now to show you it's completely possible to do better than average. These are actually slices out of different campaigns that we're running, and I'm just showing you one aspect of each of them. Alright? So we'll talk about each of these. This is the column of impressions for an account that I have, and each of these are different ad groups or different ads that I'm running for this campaign. Does that make sense? Okay, so impressions is the number of times people have seen these ads or this ad group. It can vary widely, right, depending on how resonant the ad is with people. This one had 3,600 people view it, for instance. This one had 378. Number of clicks. This is the actual number of clicks that your ad is getting, okay, for each of these, or that your campaign is getting for each of these ads. Now, just because you're getting a whole lot of clicks, like 112 here, doesn't mean that they're all good clicks, right? You want to get the right kind of clicks to come into your website. So clicks are important, but they're not everything. Average cost per click. Okay, cost per click can range widely, especially for people looking to be motivated sellers. I've seen cost per click in the Orlando area from as low as about $3 for a We Buy Houses type keyword, all the way up to $76 for a click. It can get very expensive. There's ways to avoid that. You can cap your bid. You can tell Google, I'm not willing to spend more than this. So there's ways to get around that. Average position. This is the average position that our ads show on the page. Okay, on average, our ads show in the first or second spot on the page for this campaign. Click-through rate. The 100%, that's a fluke. That was just a 1 out of 1. But the 45% is real. It's possible to get very high click-through rates with your advertising. Again, this is the number of people responding that actually see your ad. They actually click on it.
Can you explain that a little bit further?
Sure.
Click time.
Yeah.
So click through to what? Landing page?
Click through to your homepage, to your landing page.
So why would that not only be 100% if they click on it?
Oh, no. 100 people have seen this and 45 people have clicked on it because it made sense to them.
Now you're not measuring Google anymore, you're measuring what your landing page is.
You're measuring the effectiveness of your ad at that point. The click-through rate, the response. If you were to send out a mailer, how many people call you back? 10%? 45%? 5%?
So they click inside the mailer, they click through to get to
Right.
more information.
They went to Google, they typed in the search, they saw the ad, they went, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Click. So every time that it shows that ad to them, it's counting the number of impressions. Every time it clicks, it counts the number of clicks. You divide clicks by impressions, you get the click-through rate. It's how well does it resonate with the person who's looking for it. Does that make sense? Alright. Competition rate. Our ads are showing 95% of the time versus our nearest competitor at 74% of the time for the same set of keywords. And we're showing in the top 2 spots. The next competitor is showing in the 3rd and 4th spots. All these different things Google gives you. Okay, this is all information that they give you. Google has a ton of information. This down here is a conversion rate from one of the websites we're running. That particular contact page for this particular campaign had 36% drop-offs and 63% through traffic. That means 63% of the people who went to that contact page filled out the form. They said, I want more information. Now, do all my pages do that? No. Do a lot of them? Yeah.
So from that
Yes.
particular page, can you see inside your AdWords now?
Yeah, actually, these are all in AdWords. This is actually in Google Analytics. Yeah. Here's some Facebook results from some campaigns we're running right now also. Again, same sort of deal. They're very similar to Google. You have your cost per engagement, or your cost per click, your reach, you have your number of clicks, the response rate, all that stuff. It's all right there. And again, you can see we have one as low as 0.37 response rate, very low. And this particular campaign has one as high as 12.5%. Pretty good. All right? So what do you want to do with this information? Yes? Exactly. Toss the bad one. Right? Constantly test. Are there any questions about these? Yes, sir.
Websites, just tie it away to the mobile side of it.
So,
Yeah, most of us are doing everything. We're using our phone for everything.
sure.
So if I'm searching, it just says Siri or whatever. So it's the reports here relative.
Well, yeah. Well, no, this applies to whether it's mobile or laptop or whatever. This is just people who see the ad, whatever device you're on, and they click on it, right? When you go to your website and you're starting to look at analytics for the website, then it matters if they're mobile or regular or desktop, for instance. Because people who are on a mobile device are going to see your website differently than those who are on a laptop, for instance, right? It's going to be shorter. It's going to be less images. It's going to be easier, faster loading, for instance. So that's when you want to start digging into what exactly are these types of people doing. And with Google Analytics, you can see what device they're using. You can see if they're using Chrome. You can see if they're using Safari. You can see where they came from, where they live, in a general region. You can really start digging into the information. You can see how old they are in general, right? So you want to start looking at all this information and figure out, who are my most responsive clients? Let me put more money on them because they're responding better. I'm going to get more return. Does that make sense?
Facebook allows you to have a website.
Yeah, the Facebook page. What we do is mostly promote pages, or mostly promote boosts and posts that go back to a web page. Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean we'll boost the posts and all that kind of stuff, but no specific Facebook sites in general. We haven't really done that, and we found that the pages that we host are very easy. Does anybody else have any comments on that? Like I said, my business partner is the actual Facebook expert on my team. Maybe there's another Facebook expert here that wants to speak up. All right, so here's something to think about. A smart REIA hires an expert who can manage the ads for them. He gets 3.5 times the prospects of their local competition. How does that happen? Well, they're going to get a better response rate, which is going to lower their. They're going to get more response per ad. They're going to get a better conversion rate, which is going to lower their cost per guest, and then they're going to get a better close rate. That's really up to them. How well do you close your guests? But if you're getting guests that are more engaged in what you offer to begin with, you're probably going to be able to close them better, right? So you can end up reducing the cost that you actually have to pay per member by increasing all these factors. Does that make sense? All right. So to win daily, you've got to be smarter than your competition, right? It's never, ever about working harder. Trust me, I've been there. You don't want to work hard. You want to do this the easy way. If you're going out there and handing out business cards one by one, you're probably working too hard. Customers and competitors change their needs by the minute. And traditional ads don't have the flexibility to keep up with that. Online ads do, right? In fact, who believes that perceptions can change in this? Raise your hand. Of course they can. Look at the stock market, right? Changes on a whim. In fact, in Central Florida, the rehab market has changed dramatically in the last year. Last year it was very easy to find a good rehab. This year it's increasingly difficult. The market's changing fast these days. Fortunately, we have some tools from Google that are all free to help you keep up with these changes. Okay, I've already talked about Google Analytics. We'll talk about that a little more. That's it. It allows you to put a piece of code, a tracking code on your websites that allows you to follow everything that your visitors do. You can follow them step by step through your website to see exactly where they're going. And what's the goal of a professional website? Is to get the leads to go to the contact page, right? Conversion. Okay. So you can actually go on Google Analytics and you can see how many people have clicked through each of your web pages, and you can see if they're going to the ones that you want them to. If they're not, make a change. Test. Make it better. Google Trends. A great place to get popularity for keywords over the last 15 years. Google has a ton of data. Okay? If you go and look at Google Trends for the keyword foreclosures, for instance, very hot back in what, 2009, 2010? You see see a spike in the data. If you went and looked at the keyword "we buy houses," they'll show you data on that. You can actually dig down to the state and local level. Google Webmaster, you can have Google check your website for you constantly to let you know if there's any viruses or bugs coming up. I had a client who was constantly getting viruses on his website. Google was shutting him down because it was no longer trusted. I entered his website into Google Webmaster. They told me exactly how to clean it up. He did. He was back online. Google Page Speed Insights. This gives you an idea of the effectiveness of your ads and, what do I want to say, of how they feel to your users based on different devices that they're using. If they're on a mobile device, Google will give you a score to kind of give you an indication of how well they think people are going to engage with it, how well they think they're going to convert. Does that all make sense? Are there any questions about these? Yes?
You mentioned the cost per click.
Yes?
You mentioned the cost per click, we've seen high on a couple of those keywords. In that case, you would go to a long tail keyword, wouldn't you, to reduce the cost?
You could, yeah. A long tail, it really depends on what your competitors are using in terms of what the cost per click will be. Sometimes the long tail is better, sometimes switching keywords entirely is better.
The long tail.
A long tail keyword is a phrase that somebody will type into Google that has 3 or more words in it, generally. Okay, so we buy houses in Miami, Florida. That would be a long tail keyword. Okay, a short tail keyword would be we buy houses or something even smaller than that. You know, wholesale, investing, something very broad.
On the Google Page Speed Insights, does it tell you how to fix?
They do give you suggestions. I don't always like Google suggestions. They don't always work for me, but they do give you them. Yeah. They also give you suggestions in AdWords too, but I wouldn't always trust them. Yeah. In fact, I've lost traffic because of suggestions in Google AdWords. So be very careful with that. Is there anything else? Any other questions? All right. In addition to those, you also have these tools, so you get a feel for the local playing field, kind of like watching the footage of a past football game, see what your competitors are up to. Now, on our online ads, all these things you see here in a flash get you more of the deals, more of the membership you really want. Okay, there's definitely ways to increase your engagement with people out there. And again, you can download this presentation afterwards, so you don't have to write all this down. Now, the real question is, does all this really work? Everybody asks me that all the time. Does it really work? You know, well, of course it does, but don't take my word for it. Chris McClatchey, actually, he's one of our customers for Reality. He was having some challenges growing his membership. Chris, would you like to stand up and say anything about it?
I'd like to.
Would you like to? Can I put you on the spot?
I'm on the spot. As many of you know, I started Las Vegas about a year ago, a little over a year ago. We were having some challenges with some very competitive meetups out there. Our first meeting, we had 7 people. We were getting about 15 to 20 a few months in. So I hired Brian because what he's talking about, I kind of understand, but I don't really understand. So I hired his company. In our first meeting, we doubled our attendance. We went from about 15 to 20 people at a meeting to about 30 to 40 at a meeting, and we've constantly been growing since. We're now averaging about 50, sometimes 60 a meeting. I will say this, there's been a lot of discussion about the cost of this. I committed to a $500 a month budget, $250 on Google and $250 on Facebook. And I will tell you that we are averaging 3, 4, 5 members a month. In other words, just the membership is paying for the fee. That's not taking into account the future return on each member. So it's been great for us. We've, again, we're up over, I think, around 80 members now. So it's been in 1 year's time. So it's been great for us. I thank him. We kind of took this from how do you generate leads for real estate into how do you create an avatar, a NaREIA member, and then created that, and then it's worked well. So highly recommend.
Thanks, Chris.
I used to run an organization, nothing to do with real estate, but I wanted to share the experience with it. We were trying to expand our membership
also Rob Arnold. He's a realtor broker in Altamont Springs. He has 149 realtors working for him. Very business savvy gentleman. He's been doing his own ads for 2 years. Literally the day after he hired us, we increased the effectiveness of his ads by 3,400%. And he's been using us for over a year and a half now, running our ads. Julian Langer, relatively new realtor investor in Claremont, Florida. She was so enamored with the amount of leads that we brought her that she did a little Facebook post showing her ads at the top of the search. We serve a variety of needs from across the real estate industry, from investors to property managers, wholesalers to realty brokers, REIAs to national speakers. So, here's the main thing. Smart marketers know that they have to invest serious money and years of effort to create their own lead generation system that constantly updates their campaigns and continuously improves upon their successes in order to save them time and money in the long run. Or, you hire somebody who's an expert who's been there and done that, and put the time in order to get great results now for those who are at all in their part. Bottom line is, our online ads work. And if you're serious about getting more qualified members for your REIA, you now know what to do and where to go get those. Yeah? Do you want to see? How much time do I have? 15 minutes? Awesome. Do you guys want to see some bonus material?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Okay, I want to make sure. Alright. I think this will blow at least some of your guys' minds. It's pretty cool stuff. How to respond to leads instantly and send offers in 30 minutes or less. This is actually how I do my personal real estate investing, and what 10 million leads can send for you too. Who's familiar with CRMs? Raise your hand if you don't know what a CRM is. Do the opposite question. Alright, CRM is a customer relationship management software. It works on the back end of your website, for instance. It'll gather your leads for you. It'll crunch numbers. It'll send out emails. It'll auto-respond emails to people. You can create templates. You can do all sorts of things with a CRM. So, who here, as an investor, sends out offers in 30 minutes or less? Anybody? Raise your hands. Serious? I do. It's possible. It's very possible. Alright, here's what you do. You set up a website focused on converting leads. Alright? You gotta do that first, just like the other gentleman talked about. Then you set up online ads that are created to attract your ideal prospect, your ideal member for a REIA, for instance. Next, you're going to set up a CRM customized specifically for your real estate business. Okay, this is going to be on the back end of things. You're going to have your CRM create a contact form that you embed on your web page, on your website. Okay, is everybody with me so far?
What are some of the CRMs?
Some of the CRMs, I prefer Zoho CRM. A lot of people like Podio. Those are the top two. There are others out there. Podio and Zoho. Z-O-H-O. HubSpot, it's not really a CRM. It has a small CRM in it. It is for inbound marketing, but not specific to what we're talking about here. Is everybody with me so far? All right. So you have your CRM. Within your CRM, you create a contact form and you embed that on your web page. Okay. So now when people go to your contact page, they're going to input their information into your contact form, and that information is going to be sent directly to your CRM. Okay, so it's kind of working in the back end, right? Now, as soon as their information hits the CRM, you can have the CRM send an autoresponder email out to these people saying, hey, I see you're there, I see you want more information, let's build some rapport, send me more details about what you need. There's a plain old email. For instance, if I'm trying to buy a house, I'll say, hey, send me photos of your house. And that sends out instantly at the moment they click submit on that contact form. So now I've responded to them instantly, start building rapport, getting more details about their property. Or for a member, for this instance. Now you can also have your CRM auto-respond with an email to you in the same instant, saying, hey, there's somebody who wants an offer. There's somebody who's interested in becoming a member, and you need to get back to them fast. And here's their contact details. Now, depending on what your contact form says, you can have information that says, well, I'm interested in landlording, or I'm interested in flipping for cash, right? So you get out your device at this point, your smartphone or whatever device you might have, you look at your CRM because you've got this email, you go into your CRM, and you look at their responses, and you can choose a templated response based on what they submitted to you. Oh, you like flipping for cash? Well, I have a templated email in here about specifically for people who like to flip for cash. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this templated email up and get it ready to send. And then you can have your CRM, once you choose that appropriate response, if I'm an investor, for instance, I'll have a response that auto-calculates offer amounts for me within the CRM. Once you choose that response, you can have your CRM fill out that email for you, personalized with their name, tailored to their needs, and have the CRM send it out for you immediately. You can do this once you click of a button. I do it on my phone all the time. And so all I have to do as an investor is I go out there and I find a dollar per square foot of the property that they just submitted. I have some assumptions in there about repairs, which I asked them about in the email. And then as soon as I get that dollar per square foot in my CRM, I hit the button, offers out to them, 30 minutes or less. And it actually calculates 5 different offers based on what their needs are. And I'm ahead of the competition. And now you guys can be too. Is that cool or what?
All right, so let's take it to the real level.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my website, I've got my online ads, and I've got some sort of CRM, right?
Yeah.
And so now I've got my contact page, and the CRM, so let's say they say on the contact page that they're like, okay. So then they're going to send an email to then ask you more questions. And then would you send back, hey, maybe here's a free pass to our landlord subgroup
Sure.
that meets on Thursday nights at
Yes.
come join us there.
Right. They come into your contact page. They say they're a landlord because that's one of the options that you've allowed them to choose on there. They submit their information. The CRM then sends an autoresponder automatically saying, hey, I see that you sent that information. I'm going to get back to you real soon. By the way, is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Just a plain email, right? In the meantime, it also sends you an email saying this person's just submitted their information, and you look down the information that they submitted. Oh, you're interested in landlord. Great. You go into your CRM. You say, okay, I want to send them an email based on landlording. And it's already going to have their name in there because their contact information has been pulled into the CRM. So it's already based on that lead. It's already specific to their name, their address, or whatever you have them do. And then you say, okay, I'd like to send an email based on landlording. The CRM puts their name into the email for you. It's all set up with an offer that you want to give them as a landlord to come to your REIA or whatever. Push the send button, you're done. You have an offer back out to them, in this case, maybe even 5 minutes. Everything is fast these days. If you're slow, if you're taking hours to get an offer out, you are going really slow. Everybody wants fast response on everything. I mean, just think about the way you guys use the internet. If it's not fast, get out of there. Right? Same thing with people who want to sell houses. Same thing with people who want to come to organizations and associations. They want to know that you are on your toes, that you're fast, and that you know what you're doing. Make sense?
And really, once you have all this set up, you haven't actually made a movement until number 7.
Until number 7. That's right.
So
all you have to do is go there.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's all behind the scenes, and like I said, for creating offers for investors, I just put the dollar per square foot in there, and maybe a couple other things like, rental rate, if I want to make an offer based on that. Hit the button, email's out. Offers are in the email. And it works. It's a legitimate offer. They say, hey, I'll accept offer number 1. Great, I'll send you a contract immediately. After that point, they sign the contract. Great, I'll have an inspector out there, or whatever the case may be. You got a property, or you got a new member. Yeah? All right. Awesome. Okay. All right, in that case, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys being here. And if you want to download the presentation, it's either on the postcard, or you can also find it right here at this address. And I'll be in the back if you have any questions. And I'll be here until about 4 o'clock today. Hope you all learned a lot.
We definitely did. When Chris and I were sharing in the Denver airport together, and we were talking about tech, and he goes, I've got something for you. So I'm waiting a little bit, just trying to make sure that we have the rest of the program fleshed out, and I have to tell you a story. So we're at the 5-Star Convention, and they've got this panel for lenders. And Colony America, B2R, Gorilla Capital, or whatever, so get this whole lineup. And the moderator happened to be from Gorilla Capital. And I don't remember exactly what question spurred this, but the guy from Gorilla Capital took this opportunity to publicly harass the guy from Colony. He goes, by the way, I noticed you're really big on AdWord campaigns because every time anybody searches for Gorilla Capital, Colony America Finance comes up. Thank you very much. So I was like, okay, so if it's a powerful enough tool that those guys are using it effectively and beating each other to the punch, it's something we need to get involved in. So it's time for lunch, guys.